You tell us your thoughts on rings culture. Take a listen.
Funny, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the all be all of everything. You sit here and tell me, you know, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, you know, wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys.
Always be that way. Now, I remember LeBron left Cleveland to chase rings in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't that about trying to get a ring?
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Right? Because he was trying to fulfill his legacy.
Hey man, it's your boy DISREPCTED, and LeBron gets eviscerated by everybody for ring culture comments. Now LeBron's just trying to downplay rings because he's trying to live up to the expectations of Jordan and the hype, which he didn't, because rings should matter, because in every sport you want to win, and that just measures how much you're successful with your team. And when we talk about that, Jordan led his team to winning 6 championships and himself 6 final MVPs, compared to LeBron 4 championships and 4 finals MVPs. We're going to let the Hall of Famers talk about it. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment down below more NBA video suggestions. This one should be fun.
And I think for him, right?
They're saying that thing for him is hypocritical for him saying rings don't matter when he
Paul, do you agree with LeBron about ring
to the Miami
culture?
Heat? Now in the Los Angeles
Well,
Lakers.
there has to be a measuring stick. And why do we play the game? You know, is it for the fame? Is it for the fortune? Because as a kid, you played
I think everybody has their own different reason why they
and you were
basketball.
always measured on how much you won. And sports will always be that way. Now, I remember LeBron left Cleveland to chase rings in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't that about trying to get a ring?
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Right? Because he was trying to fulfill his legacy. You know, and
do you think
same
you
with
fulfill
Kevin
your legacy
Durant
more by staying loyal to one team or winning with other teams?
It just begs the question, like I said earlier, why do we play? You know, is it for fun? Is it for money? Is it for fame? Because I've always played to win, to be the best. And that's how we are measured as individuals, because when you are winning rings, it's proven that you are the best. And so it's kind of hypocritical
maybe in his position
Ron to kind of say this, being that he went to
he's a power
Miami,
forward.
then
But
back to Cleveland,
the best comparing him
to LA in search of rings. And that's how we measure sports across the board. In order to be the greatest, yeah, you can have all these. I could be on a bad team and have all the individual stats, but it doesn't make you great if you don't win. And that's why we measure players to that degree on how much you win and how many rings or trophies you got. It's all measured, and there is levels to this. You can't come to the Truth Lounge and just get in the VIP. You know, it's certain status that you got to have or a certain type of bankroll. Same in sports. It just is what it is. Some players are general admission. Some players are VIP.
Some people are just born good.
And then you got others who are VIP. And that's the upper echelon. So it just is what it is.
No, James doesn't have a problem with ring culture. He has a problem with more rings culture, because LeBron has curated his career around ring culture. Because if he didn't, LeBron James never goes to South Beach. He went to South Beach because he understood that as individually dominant as he was nothing without those rings. And what's funny also, too, about LeBron is the fact that he's talking about the accumulation of something when that's the exact argument that all of his fans, all of the people that say he is the greatest, use. His accumulation of points over a certain amount of time, accumulation of assists, accumulation of rebounds. The reason he's pointing out the more rings culture is because he hasn't accumulated more rings than the person that he's chasing.
What he's saying here is the reason that he's trying to downplay the rings is because he hasn't accumulated as much as the person that he's trying to compare to. But when it comes to points, rebounds, and assists, he did as much.
And so if I can get out and debunk the fact that it's about how many rings you get as long as you have one, or if I can get out and debunk the fact that we're not having a conversation about how much you elevated your team in the most important moment, just about how good you were, right? Because when you bring up...
Because if you give that many rings to a player who never won rings,
Barry Bonds, it's like, let's not think about whether or not he won a championship. Let's say he was the greatest ever, which all baseball players agree to, right? Like he brought up Dan Marino. Yeah, we know Dan Marino could spin it, but Dan Marino never lifted his team to a championship.
But how is that even a debate? Basketball to baseball? How are you going to debate which one is winning and which one is measuring that?
So we speak about him differently than we talk about Tom Brady. And let's not forget that part of greatness is showing up in the most important moments. Then we talk about Tom never lifted his team to a championship, so we speak about him differently than we talk about Tom Brady. And let's not forget that part of greatness is showing up in the most important moments. The most important moments are is showing up in the most important moments. The most important moments are playoffs and championships. And that is the reason that you get to be, whether it's in the top 5 or a top 3 or a top 2, or you get to be the GOAT, is because in the most important moment, as individually great as you were that great or better when it counted most. And so LeBron James is extremely intelligent. He knows that if now he comes out and says, hey, it's not about how many rings you accumulate, it's about how you played individually. Now, all of his fans, his people that say he's the GOAT can point to those numbers as long as you don't point to the amount of rings that somebody won, because that's the conversation or argument that he can't win. And I think for him, right, for him, it's typically shaped your career early on around winning championships because you knew championships could make you the GOAT. You even said, when I came back 3-1 against the Warriors, that made me the GOAT because I won that championship. Now all of a sudden, because maybe there's a fear you won't win another one, championships or amount of championships don't matter.
You are beyond wrong, Wendy. You're not even close to being right on this one. I'm sorry. No way in hell. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, having some good arguments in debates. You brought up LeBron about and whether the rings, or not they think, okay, or whether they who's devalued LeBron? Do think. See, that's the BS that we have to stop letting him and his camp get away.
Lots of people have.
But these are NBA analysts.
Once again, no. Excuse me.
More than somebody else
when we talk about the GOAT, because he's not in a lot of people's eyes. It's Michael Jordan. That is it. Everybody recognizes him as a 4-time champion. Everybody universally recognizes him as one of the top 3 players in the history of basketball. Some people wouldn't consider that bubble ring. What the hell else do you want? A diaper and a bib? What do you want? Do you want us to feed you some applesauce or something? My God, what more can you do? Other than saying he's not the GOAT, he's number 2 or number 3 if you want to put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's resume in there. I'm not going to lie, being number 2 what else is there? On the top list There's nothing else to deny him. And everybody recognizes that. It's factually incorrect when they walk around acting like he's been devalued. It is not true. It is not true. Now, let's get to the point that you and I do agree about. If it didn't mean much or should it mean much, well then, why were you so relieved to finally have one? Why did you depart Cleveland to go to Miami and join forces with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade to get one? Why did you depart from there to go back to Cleveland? Because LeBron only went back to Cleveland for one reason: to resurrect his reputation and his stature, because it wasn't that he departed from Cleveland, it's that he didn't deliver the chip when he departed. So he went back to erase more than half-century curse on that area in professional sports because they hadn't captured what?
I don't think they're on good terms now.
So in other words, he understood it for him right now. In departing for Cleveland to go to Miami, he just understood it.
But I don't think you can hold a grudge on LeBron because of that. Because everybody who was playing or wanted to play basketball, if they was in the NBA, they would want to win.
In departing from Miami to go back to Cleveland, he understood it when he arrived in Tinseltown with the Lakers that stars, superstars who wore the purple and gold, he couldn't be the one person that didn't capture a championship. He had to get at least one. But now that you really don't understand why it's of so important. It's nonsense. He understands why. But let me take it to a level he's not going to take it to. That most of us, Doggy, myself, and many others would. Once upon a time, Wendy, you know this, the endorsement dollars, the sizzle, the shine, and all the monetary compensation that came your way because of it was courtesy for championships. You weren't getting that kind of shine when you weren't winning.
Because they need
if you didn't win anything, it wasn't coming to you like that. Your way because of it was courtesy for championships. You weren't getting that kind of shine when you weren't winning. If you didn't win anything, it wasn't coming to you like that. What happened is that we've been able to use championships
from a Jordan fan
as
perspective. Is he being
validation
biased, but he is
for the
facts.
shine that you receive.
I like that
Because
they're showing us
without
information
it,
that we didn't
you
know
just
of.
see a lot of cats getting a lot of money.
Because I didn't 100% knew that he went back to the Cleveland Cavaliers because he promised them a ring to win them a ring.
Why is that
And
a
it could have
problem?
been because they had
it's
Kyrie
a
Irving
problem
there.
because on too many occasions, I'm not talking about on the court,
he needed
because
a
I would never
centerpiece around
accuse
him.
a player of being lackadaisical on the court.
That's the thing
they
about
show up
LeBron,
on the
though.
court
He's
and they
not
give
gonna
you
stay with a
effort.
team if
I'm
you're not
talking
winning
about
or
the
you're not getting the players for his team.
commitment that LeBron gives,
showing
that he's
commitment,
revered for, along with many others, and what they bring to the table off the court in the off season. Are you constantly working to improve your craft and to elevate your level of play? The audience needs to see that. And validation is an insatiable appetite for the chip. If you don't have an appetite for the chip and you're laissez-faire about it, and it's okay, I didn't win, all right, so be it, it's all right, there's more things to life. The audience ain't gonna like that. The patrons ain't gonna want to patronize.
What they're saying is that they wouldn't like being a fan of LeBron if he wasn't hungry enough to win.
As your product, your brand, et cetera, because the emotional investment they place in you, the reward that they expect to receive at the very least is a
I would understand that, though,
approach
because imagine being passionate about a team
in
and
pursuit
then they just keep
of
letting you down.
excellence. And excellence is defined by winning.
Like, it's
You
teams
talk about
in
we don't
NBA who
remember
never
number
won a
2.
ring.
You know who we do remember other than winners? People who really, really sucked, who were really, really horrible, that really, really didn't care along the way. Oh, we remember them too. And when you're trying to capture championships and you're in tireless pursuit of it, that's what the people want to see.
But the thing about chasing,
that's
though,
where they feel like
it's
their
not gonna come
emotional
to you
investment
unless
and their
you're going for
monetary
fun.
investment in you is paid back to them. So when you say why you don't know why championships don't mean, let me tell you something to somebody who knows Allen Iverson as a reporter better than me, bro. Let me tell y'all something right now. If Allen Iverson could have did a lot of things better off the court, there is no question about that. Practice habits, conditioning, etc. I got that part. But the reason why he's beloved by the city of Philadelphia and revered by the basketball world
trying to be better
is that
at basketball
6'1",
because he tries to stay
160,
healthy.
he
He
used
does
to
a
go
lot in
up
the gym.
against giants and
At his
play
health condition
to
of his
death
age is crazy, though.
every single damn game. And when you saw that, you knew it wasn't because of him. You knew it was because of what he was lacking, meaning pieces around him. Because if Shaq in his prime and Kobe weren't standing in his way, Allen Iverson would have captured the championship. And everybody knows that. That's what you're looking for when you're watching. That's why championships mean it's not the actual ring, it's the pursuit of it and a commitment to going for it.
Nobody says Charles Barkley's not amazing. Nobody says Allen Iverson's not amazing.
But I think they discredit.
Nobody says
every
Dan
player.
Marino's not amazing.
They might not say he's not
But
amazing,
Barkley
but they're
is an
gonna show you
MJ,
something that shows that he's
and
not as good as he
Marino's
could have
not
been.
Brady, even though he was more talented. And the reason is the trophies. And LeBron knows that. LeBron has no chance to win a trophy with the current Laker roster, so now they don't matter. He spent his entire career pursuing titles. You think he went to Miami to lay on the beach? He went there for Riley and Spoelstra and a better owner and a better roster. He didn't go west. He stayed in the weak East to keep getting to finals.
Has he always been in the East for his
LeBron
career?
pursued finals, and Michael 6 for 6 for years. He's talked about idolizing Michael. What's the stat? What stat do we talk about with Michael? If I said to you, how many total points did Michael score? You don't know. How many division titles did Michael win? You don't know. How do you do in the finals? 6 for 6.
Is he saying everybody's casuals and they don't know this information? Because they're
That's his
NBA
number.
analysts, so it's their job, though.
Right? That's his number. And so, and he's been doing this for years, playing this angle. It's projecting, it's straw man argument. And I love LeBron. I really do. I like the people around LeBron. So back when he knew he had a chance to win several more, the ring mattered. Because he was still back then, hey, can he surpass Michael and get to 6, 7, 8?
Wait,
now
so
he
what they
can't.
think
Now
is
rings
on his
don't
mind
matter.
is him just surpassing
Rings
Jordan every
absolutely
time?
are the difference. Dan Marino is bigger, stronger, and more talented than Brady.
Because I think
Brady
they
got the
did have
trophies.
both good careers.
That's the difference. Favre was more athletically talented than Brady. Brady got the trophies. Aaron's probably more gifted. Josh Allen is. Brady's got the trophies. Nobody's saying that Marino or Josh Allen aren't talented. I think Josh Allen's the most talented football player in the world.
Wow, you said Josh Allen is more talented than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady just has the more trophies.
But Mahomes has the trophies.
That's a good way to put it. But
and we
why
can
is it always
contextualize it
correlating
why
other sports?
they matter. I'm not a huge Brock Purdy fan, but if he had 2 trophies, I'd have to acknowledge he's a different player.
Doesn't live by the same rules.
He's just better than I
basketball.
think. So it does matter. And Michael and LeBron knows it matters.
Why don't you tell us your thoughts on rings culture? Take a listen.
Funny, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the all be all of everything. You sit here and tell me, you know, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, you know, wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has 1 ring. They don't never discuss that in their sport.
Right.
Or telling me that Dan Marino is not the greatest slinger of all time, or he can't be in the room with those guys because he didn't win a championship. They don't discuss those things.
I think when they discuss something like that, they should discuss, okay, LeBron might not have the most championships, but he's the most at passing, assists, rebounds, all of the other, etc.
Once again, if he had enough rings to be considered the greatest, it would be okay. This is a typical.
They don't discuss those things.
I think if they discuss, they should be like, LeBron's the best at rebounding, pass, assists, all of the etc. because he doesn't have the rings to back it up.
Once again, if he had enough rings to be considered the greatest, it would be okay. This is a typical LeBron. He doesn't feel like he's going to get there, and that's going to be held against him. So now he's going to downplay the ring. If it wasn't about that, LeBron, and if Steve Nash had any kind of
stop expecting him to.
Okay, no, if he had anything, then I would have said, LeBron, why did you leave Cleveland and go to Miami? Chasing rings.
Cleveland!
You're the one who did it. You're the one who ran away. You're the one who put together a super team so that you can win rings. You were the one who were afraid not to win a championship. As great as you were as a player.
Not 2, not 3.
That's right.
Not 4,
now he's saying,
not
listen
5,
to this.
Not 6.
Is he talking about
7.
being a great
and
player?
when I say that,
He's
I
talking
really
about
believe
winning rings because that's what he wanted to win.
He's feeling
Such a phony. I'm so tired of hearing this. On one hand, he's talking about.
You got them screaming because
I don't know why we're talking about rings or whatever. He's the one. Kelvin, that wasn't somebody imitating him. He's the one talking up about 7 rings. He's the one who left Cleveland, his hometown, and went to go chase rings in Miami. He's the one who keeps leaving, who came to L.A. to chase rings. Because he looked at Michael Jordan. And if you look at Michael Jordan's career and you think it's just about rings, you're mistaken. Michael Jordan was a great player, led the league in scoring 10 times. I could go over and over the all-time leading scorer in the postseason. It was more than just the 6 rings. This whole notion. And if Steve Nash had anything, he could have said, you know, LeBron, Peyton did win 2 championships. Well, Peyton only got 1.
Yeah,
they didn't even know.
He forgot that Denver one.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is, this is total garbage on LeBron's point. What
they talk highly of Jordan to this day.
The only reason if LeBron had 8 or 10 rings, you think he would be talking about the number of rings people counting? Of course he would not. Such a phony. I'm so tired of hearing guys make an excuse when it doesn't fit their narrative. He has to be able to talk about longevity and all this other stuff.
Oh, he could talk about longevity, though. I don't think nobody competes with him when it comes to that.
To be able to be considered great. It's not that you have to win a ring to be great.
Healthy enough doesn't mean
you can be a great player. I'll sit here and tell you Charles Barkley was a great player. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. No one's going to say he wasn't a great player in the NBA. But when you talk about the greatest of all time, I don't know of anybody who's the greatest of anything who didn't win at some point in their life.
That is true.
Dan Marino was a hell of a quarterback. I'm going to sit here and tell you he's the best quarterback ever, and he never won? Come on, man. Nobody. How many times do I have to bring up Marv Levy? He went to 4 straight Super Bowls as a coach.
Not 3.
4. Not one time have I ever heard anybody say Marv Levy's the greatest coach in NFL history. You know why? Because he didn't win. That's why we keep as a coach.
Not 3.
4.
He went to 4 straight Super Bowls
Not
and he
one
hasn't
time
won?
have I ever heard anybody say Marv Levy's the greatest coach in NFL history. You know why? Because he didn't win. That's why we keep score. That's why we hand out trophies. It does matter. Stop trying to say that winning doesn't matter. It does matter when you're talking about putting somebody ahead of everybody and saying they're the group.
But it's hard to say winning matters when it's the team effort that counts.
Greatest that ever did something.
Maybe he's just saying it doesn't matter to him, but that's because he doesn't have enough rings.
And I think everyone's missing the point here because this right here is being presented as a, hey, look out for the little guy. Look out for Nash and Iverson and Marino and all the guys who don't get their rightful place in history because they didn't win. This is about reframing the GOAT conversation with Michael Jordan because he's passed Jordan in virtually every statistical category that matters except the championships. So now what do? We start politicking that championships aren't as valuable. Hey,
he did pass him in everything.
It's a team concept. My team hasn't been there to put me over the top to get there with Jordan. I don't know why we talk about rings so much. It's not about rings. Let's look at the individual glory. For example, I'm the all-time leading scorer. It's a chance to reframe. It's very slick. It's very slick.
But those are the rules. It's like my rules. Hey, I'm in the Hall of Fame, but I'm in a different wing than the guys who won the championship. I mean,
Still in the Hall of Fame, though.
I know, yeah, but I'm saying, though, Jack, hey, I understand. I understand the rules. Like, Charles are great. Karl Malone's great. Patrick Ewing's great. They're not at the table with Magic, Bird, LeBron, Kobe. It's levels to this
You gotta
shit.
be telling the front office that you
I ain't
wanna
mad
get
at
rid
that.
of that player,
I
add that
understand
player.
that. Now, if I could have won a championship, I
Especially
can
if
go
for
all
somebody
across
that
the
they look
room.
at with that much
But
value.
the rules are the rules. We have to play by the rules. And this ain't got nothing with motherfuckers on TV who get paid to talk shit. We talking about players.
Right.
We talking about players. We understand, like, yeah, hey, I'm not at the table with Bird and Magic and those guys. Hey, yeah, am I a great player? Yes, I am. I understand that. But there are levels and there's tables to this thing.
LeBron just keeps digging a hole deeper and deeper and deeper. Obviously, I'm not in agreement with his whole thing about ring culture and how it doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of this is just common sense.
I want to know when this even came in the debate of ring
But
culture.
I'm happy that everybody can just see through
Because in the era of
LeBron's
Jordan, they
plot
wasn't even
here.
talking about that.
You know, to try to make it seem as though
I think the
rings
rules
don't
of
matter
basketball was different back then.
and only stats matter.
And how they measured everything of winning.
So that, you know, because he has all the stats, then he'll be looked at as the GOAT. Right, I'm happy that everybody peeped his game and called him out on it, exposed him. Because we all know that there's one GOAT. And we all know, right, that Kobe's ahead of LeBron and Kareem.
Whoa.
Tim Duncan, Shaq, and a whole bunch of other guys. Right, so this case that he's making due to longevity, not gonna fly. Okay? I mean, basketball, it was made to be played to win. So the winners are obviously the greatest. Here's what it is. If you're the GOAT,
But the
you
thing
gotta
about
find
them
a way
winning, they gotta win more than one
to
time.
pull out at least
to even be in
80%
a GOAT conversation.
of your championships.
So does winning even matter?
70% of your wins. If you claim to be the GOAT. Right? You can't tell me that every time there's teams
5 championships
or
just to be even in
dynasties
the
or
GOAT conversation.
whatever that were built
I'm
that
seeing
you
them do
could
that
not
with Nikola
overcome.
Jokic. He's scoring triple doubles every day.
Okay, because I keep on telling people that when Steph, Clay, and Draymond beat him the first time, they didn't have a title, but he did. Always remember that. He had a title, and they didn't have a title. They were not a dynasty. Right, when they beat him, they did not have 2 or 3 titles. Clay and Draymond beat him the
what's
first
crazy
time.
about the Golden State Warriors because they could have won.
They didn't have a title.
In 2016 series,
but he did.
But I think that's the time they lost to 3-1.
Always remember that.
And they didn't even have Kevin Durant that time.
He had a title, and they didn't have a title. They were not a dynasty. Right when they beat him, they did not have 2 or 3 titles when they beat him. And always remember that it could have been worse. Okay? So for all you talking about how LeBron overcame and exceeded all these expectations,
I think that's true though.
4 and 6.
4
what
and
did
6
he
in
exceed?
Playoffs? I mean, you can't expect
Right,
everybody
according
to
to
be
my
6-0
calculations that I've done, LeBron
That's something hard to exceed in that expectation
did
range.
what he was expected to do, because I rate winning championships. LeBron has 4, Kobe has 5, Jordan he has 6. They all faced various challenges on their way to winning those titles, and it was up to you as a great player to overcome those challenges, whatever they may be. And just because you were not able to do it, all right, to the way that you wanted to do it, all right, that's not on us. That's on you. So that's about it. So until next time.
Okay, this is LeBron. He gets eviscerated by everybody for ring culture comments. Now, this was a while back when he said his statements. I guess it was on a radio show or a host show or a podcast. But we got to see from their perspective of a Hall of Famer who thought about it. From my opinion is that I think both of them had great careers. And I think that ring matter. But it's to like what extent? Because if you win 1 ring, then you're still not even in the GOAT conversation. So I think it more matters of how much you can influence the way of how basketball is played, which we've seen a lot with Stephen Curry and a lot of other players, Allen Iverson, and even LeBron and Jordan. But that's my opinion. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment down below more NBA video suggestions.